On a Wednesday morning, you know what to do. Tune into the podcast just for a few. I'll be your guide with tips for your trade. Business success, that's what we'll create. They call it private practice, a world of its own, where entrepreneurs thrive and dreams are grown. From marketing strategies to financial know-how, I'll share the secrets, come on and take a bow. Welcome to the Private Practice Podcast, where I'll help you thrive and we'll have a blast. Tune in every Wednesday, and you'll soon see your business success. It starts with me.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Private Practice Podcast. Super duper pleased that you're here on this gorgeous Saturday morning. Well, do you know what? It's actually a gorgeous Friday morning when I'm recording this, and Buddy and I are in the study and the sun is streaming in and it's really warm on our legs, and it is just so nice to have. Is it vitamin D or vitamin K you get from the sun? I think it's vitamin D, isn't it? It's just so nice. My car is getting a roadworthy at the moment, but that's okay because it means that I can take the little fella down here for a walk around the block and it'll be just so nice. And yeah, so today I want to talk with you about some reflections from my time away, because some things came up that I think might be really helpful for you to hear. And you know me, I want to give you the down and dirty, raw, real version of what it's like to run a private practice and live your best life. Like to think I'm trying to live my best life over here. But yeah, I guess to give you some background, somebody was saying to me the other day, what do you mean you went away again? Like you've already been away. And I have. And I want to share with you the reason why I go away so often. It's because for me, the way that I fill my cup is I kind of do binge self-care, if you like, in that I take time away from the house, time away from the office, time away from work where I can. Every kind of maybe 8 to 10 weeks, I go away for 10 days. Doing this gives me the light at the end of the tunnel, but it wasn't always like this. In fact, when I was working as a psychologist, I never once took time off. I don't think I ever took time off for being sick, not that I really got sick that often, but I just kind of kept going, and I did it because I had the mindset, and actually I had a flawed business model. I wasn't aware that it was even flawed at the time. But I was thinking, if I'm not there to do the work, then I'm not going to produce any income. And then what's going to happen? That's going to be totally devastating. So that was my thinking back then. And I just didn't have a business model that would support me in taking time off. So it was really hard. And then eventually I did start to take time off because I started to feel like I was getting burned out. And that's when I did things like I walked the Camino. So I've done the Camino, I think 3 times now, walking from France to Spain. And it's grueling, but I really find it such a meditation in itself. I would love to go again. If you're listening to this and you want to walk the Camino, let me know. We can go. I would love to do it again. I don't know if I'd go by myself. I know that there are other women that do it independently. But for me, the 3 times that I went with a girlfriend, and there were times where we were walking in the dark, either early in the morning before the sun got up, or we had taken a wrong turn somewhere and we were walking into small rural villages in the middle of nowhere after hours. And I just don't think it's wise for women to be walking around in the dark. And I know that might not sound too like modern or anything like that, but it's just my feeling. I just don't feel safe walking around in the dark. And if I was by myself, I would feel even more vulnerable, I guess, because it's really tiring. Like we were walking about 30 to 35K a day. I don't know that I could clock up those kinds of numbers again, but I'm pretty sure I could if I got myself conditioned. But it's been a while. But yeah, if you want to walk the Camino and you're looking for a partner, I would love to do it. In saying that, quick heads up, it's probably going to be a quiet trip because I am pretty quiet and introspective and introverted, and I struggle being around groups of people. So I like to just be maybe with you and nobody else. So if you're cool with that, let me know and we can absolutely book it for next year or something. I would love to do it again. It's so much fun. But yeah, so I took time off to go and do the Caminos. And it was hard financially because I wasn't income producing. And so I did have to live off my savings while I was doing that. But that was, I was going to say years ago, a long time ago. It wasn't. That was like, I think 2000. When was the last time I did it? I think 2018 was the last time I did it. Oh no, 2018. That's when I trekked to Everest Base Camp, which by the way is not at the bottom of the mountain. It's pretty close to the top, but anyway, it might have been 2017, but it doesn't matter. I'm going off track. Okay, I didn't have a business model that supported me, so now I do have a business model that supports me, and while I go away, I'm still able, or the business rather, is still able to generate what it needs to keep itself going and pay for all my stuff. So some of the things that I really like to do when I go away are, of course, I always have to have this accommodation that's got a spa, and I always like to try and get different accommodation. But the last 3 times I've been there, I've stayed at the same place because I just loved it so much. And you've heard me speak about it before. It's on like this tiny, whiny little winery, and it's got a spa that overlooks the winery, and there are kangaroos there. And this time when I went, I saw a joey get born, and it was just like a moment where, it was like all the light beams shone down on me and shone down on the kangaroo that was giving birth, and it was just like circle of life. I was expecting Lion King music to start playing because it was just so beautiful. I thought, what's going on here? There were a few kangaroos, like they're often in groups, aren't they? And I noticed that there were kangaroos of all different sizes, and there was already a mum with a joey, and I was taking photos because I thought, oh, it's just so cute. How often do you get to see a little joey? And they were up so close. It was really lovely. And then I went to the bathroom to turn on the spa, and I saw out the window down the other side of the property, there was a kangaroo all by itself laying on its side, and I could see its stomach was sort of expanding and contracting, and I thought, oh, what's going on here? And then I saw the leg lift up, and I was like, oh, okay, here we go. And yeah, I watched for nearly an hour, and I was cheering her on, and then all of a sudden it was just kind of like pop, just this pinkish, like bright pink little jelly bean kind of thing. Well, of course it's bigger than a jelly bean, but it just kind of like popped out. Like it was so small. I don't know what I was expecting because I've never seen a kangaroo give birth before. I think I was just kind of expecting like a joey was going to pop out or something, but no, it looks like a little, I don't know, it's got no hair. It was bright pink, and then I just couldn't believe it. Like I started crying that it came out and everything, and then I was worried she was going to sit on it or squash it or something, so I kept watching, and I started to see it crawling its way up the pouch, and I was like, how is it even doing this? Anyway, so it was so beautiful. And then I couldn't see anymore because I was just like crying so much that I couldn't see. All my eyelashes were like totally wet, and I was just seeing blobs of everything because I didn't have my glasses. And yeah, it was just magic. But one of the things that I love to do when I go away is create space. And before I went to Kiki K, and I got myself a journal called the Calm Journal. And the reason that I really like it is because it's got activities and things like that, which, I always am so dismissive of for some reason, but it had lots of space to write and do brain dumps. And I'm always I mean, if you saw my desk, I've got so many exercise books because I'm trying to move away from writing on scrap pieces of paper because I just got so many scrap pieces of paper everywhere and I write things down all the time and I never look at them again. So then I thought, this is really messy. So then I just bought all these exercise books and I thought, I'll have one exercise book for podcasts, one exercise books for, notes, one exercise books for ideas, stuff like that. But that didn't last because then I just started like grabbing the first book that was available. So now all the books are a mishmash of things and they probably all just need to be thrown out. But anyway, I bought the book for that. And so I took that with me. And I also made sure that I had my favorite meditations loaded onto my iPhone and loaded onto my iPad mini. I love my iPad mini. If you need a device to take with you and you don't want to take a laptop, and you don't want to obviously take your desktop, it can be so handy because it just fits into like almost your back pocket. It is just a perfect size. I just didn't get one with a SIM. Mine just connects to Wi-Fi. And it's got, I think, 32 gig memory or something like that. But it's great because I find that I often go to use my mobile phone while I'm sitting in the spa or while I'm out at a cafe and I'm waiting for my food to come. I'll be looking on my phone. But having an iPad mini is better because I get the functionality of a laptop, right? You know how on your phone you can't do a lot of things or it's just awkward? Well, that's solved with an iPad mini. Plus, it's a great tax deduction. And I got the pink one and it's in a white case and I just love it so much. So I took that with me and I love to go to, in Dalesford, there's a shop there called Empress and Wolf. I go there, I have a look for oracle cards, for crystals, for crystal jewelry, for books and things like that. I think maybe they may have changed hands though because I wasn't really feeling the vibe this time. So then I went down to, there's another road, I always forget the name of it, off Vincent Street, but they have two crystal shops. One shop is for all witchy stuff. It's not really my type of shop, but I always go in there and have a quick look anyway. And then there's a shop that's more like kind of, fun spiritual stuff. And I love to go in there because they've usually got lots of different types of oracle cards. Like they've probably got the biggest range to choose from. And they do rotate the decks. So, every time I'm up there, every couple of months when I'm up there, I see different things. So I love to go in there too. So yeah, it was just really nice, but I just felt like I needed to be moving. And so this time, instead of doing a lot of sitting and thinking and reflecting and stuff like that, I felt like I needed to be moving. And, I am a collector. So I love, 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 love to collect things for my business, whether it's a book or whether it's a special type of crystal that might be pretty rare, or maybe it's a special type of oil potion or something like that that's pretty rare. Like I've told you before about my very favorite one, which is the anointing oil by the coal miner's daughter. I love that. I don't think you can get it anymore, but it's so special. So I love to go looking for things that I can collect. And of course, if you're using things for your business, you get to deduct them, right? So that feels even better. And when you've got a business model that supports that, that's even better again. So it's like so exciting. And so I just kept driving around everywhere. I went to Malden, I went to Ballarat, I went to Bendigo. I just wanted to be moving. It just every day it was full of long drives, and I just love long drives. I used to have a convertible. Well, I've had probably about 6 convertibles. I love them so much, and I always said, as soon as I can, I'm gonna get rid of the car I've got now and get another convertible. But I don't know, because how everything's going at the moment with, should we get electric cars, should we not get electric cars? What are my views on that? What do I think is going to happen? I mean, my mechanic was saying he thinks it's unlikely that we'll all be on electric cars. But the other thing that I saw was, now don't quote me on this because I don't remember exactly, but I can't remember if it was CanStar or if it was Choice or whoever it was, or it could have even been some kind of data or poll, but they were saying that the sale of electric cars in Australia is like declined and they're looking at stopping selling them. And that there were importers that had stopped importing electric cars because they were just so slow to sell because they're quite expensive, and you've got to replace the battery or something every 10 years and they don't retain their value. And if you go over a speed hump really quickly or something and you do some damage, you've got to replace the whole car. So I don't know. It's just speculation. So I've been holding off on getting a convertible is what I'm saying. I don't know. I might get a hybrid, see if there's a convertible that's a hybrid. I should probably have a look for one of those because it's just so nice. Like maybe I was a dog in a past life because I used to really, really love just having the wind in my hair, just that sense of movement and freedom and just, anyway. So what happened is that while I was away, I was having all this space and all this freedom, and because I was mostly disconnected from work, what happened was I started to get inspiration dropping in. And now this always happens for me. As soon as I'm away from anything work related, give it a day or so, and all of a sudden the ideas start flooding in, start rushing in, the inspiration comes, and I'm just energized again. So it was so exciting. And I've come away from it wanting to do some work and make a new offer around money for women in private practice and especially women in allied health. And so I'm so excited about that. So that's what I'm working on sort of behind the scenes at the moment. And I'll be putting an offer out for that later on. I'm not going to rush myself. I'm just going to enjoy it because it is so much fun. You should see what I'm putting together for you. You're going to love it. You are going to love it. Like, especially because if you love the stuff around the masculine energy and the feminine energy, this is totally a program for you. And it is going to blow your mind, the things that you're going to learn. It is next level. And if you like being with me because you always learn something new, then again, you are going to love it. And that's the one thing I think about being in my world, because I spend so much money and time investing in my own professional development, and then I can sort of bring things back to you. You're always getting the latest and the best. And I love sharing the latest and the best things with you. I'm so excited to do it. One of the things that I did struggle with this time around for some reason was setting boundaries. I had put them in place, but not 100% it turned out, because I noticed that I told everybody before I left that I'm going on leave, I won't be available, I'll respond to things when I'm back. And I also put on the autoresponder on my email to let everybody know as well. But I found myself in moments of having idle time going on my phone, going onto Facebook and, seeing that there were comments, questions, things like that. And I started responding to them, and I was happy to do it. But then after it was done and my lunch had been served and I was just sitting there eating my lunch or something, then I was thinking, why did I just do that? Like, you just told everybody you're not going to be able to respond, yet you've just gone in and responding. This isn't good, because you're sending them a mixed message, and now you're frustrated with yourself because you've gone and flexed your own boundary, really. And so I knew I needed to do something about it. So I contacted somebody and just sort of said, hey, can you help me out with this? And she was amazing. And she said, yep. What do you need? I told her, can you do this? Can you do that? She was like, yep, no problem. So I said to her, I just realized that I'm not on top of my boundaries this time around, and I'm not sure why. And this would be really great if you could give me some support around this. And she was more than happy to, and I was so thankful. And she was like, yes, just go away, enjoy your break. I said, okay. And then it still felt like, not an addiction, but I still felt like, I don't know, I've kind of, to take my hands away from everything this time around just felt really like I shouldn't be doing it or something. All these stories were coming up. What's going to happen in my absence? Will this other person say the right thing or do the right thing? And, all of that. So I told myself, okay, you're going to limit your time. Maybe tomorrow at 12 o'clock, just go on to your social media, set a timer for 15 minutes. When that timer goes off, you're out. And I thought by putting myself under a bit of time pressure like that, it would force me to quickly go through comments, reply to people, etc. Anywho, what ended up happening was I was off on an adventure and just totally lost track of time. And then it wasn't until later that night, quite late that night, that I remembered. And then I thought, oh yeah, I should probably go in. So I just went in and all I did was observe. I didn't actually engage with anything. I just checked in to make sure that everything was going smoothly, and it was. And then I thought, okay, so it wasn't actually that bad. That was a day without me, you know, getting involved in the business. So I thought, okay, well, maybe tomorrow I just won't even look. So tomorrow came and I committed to not looking at Facebook, which sounds crazy to some of you, I know, but most of my business happens on Facebook. Well, not really. Most of my business happens on ThriveCart, but to support my students and to support people who are doing courses and programs with me, there is always the option of a community. Not everybody takes up that option, but there is that option. So yeah, anyway, I didn't look at Facebook that next day. And guess what? The sky did not fall down. In fact, I felt pretty good. And I thought, wow, I actually had a day off today. And so then for all the subsequent days, it just got easier and easier and easier not to go on Facebook. And then, of course, on Sunday night, I was nervous. I was thinking, oh no, what am I going to open up the computer to tomorrow morning? But Monday morning came, and guess what? It was not that bad. There were only 165 emails waiting for me, which is pretty good because I would say, I don't know, maybe about, I want to say maybe a third of those were probably emails from things I subscribed to that I then quickly went unsubscribe from because they're clogging up my inbox. And I am so proud of inbox zero. Like, I have 0 emails in my inbox at all times. It's so good. I've got all these folders set up and I've got rules set up so that if emails come relating to certain topics or from certain people, they just boom, go in the folder. I don't even see them straight away. So it's perfect. So I just go in there, boom, inbox 0. But yeah, so there were some emails there. Did everything go okay in the groups while I was gone and I wasn't, getting involved with them? Absolutely. Everything went just fine. In fact, it went exceedingly well. And it just affirmed for me that it's safe for me to step away from the practice. But, I don't know what it was this time round that made it difficult for me to step back, because normally I'm pretty good at it. But I have realized that when I go away, so I'm going away again on the 18th of October, which is about 8 weeks, I think, for another 10 days. And I think when I go away then, what I'll probably do is, what was I going to say? I will just make sure that I've got, someone or 2 people or 3 people or 4 people, however many people there to support different communities and, answer questions and do all of that sort of stuff. So that's what I'm looking at the moment. So I might reach out to people that are in the communities at the moment that are pretty active and just see if that's something that they'd be interested in helping out with, and see how we go with that. But yeah, definitely putting some kind of structure in place would be great. So the reason I'm sharing this with you is because I want you to know that when you go away, you might also find it difficult to connect from your practice, either mentally or actually physically, like me, in terms of checking in with my online communities. So if you can prepare a plan for yourself before you go, that's just going to make it so much easier, and it will really allow you to have that break that you're needing. Because you know what, you can go to a different place. Like, I live in Mount Eliza, but I go to Daylesford for my breaks. But if I go to Daylesford, my head can still be in the business. So I think by making sure that you've got supports prepared ahead of time to allow revenue to come into the business while you're gone. So every single day while I was gone, I made money, even though I wasn't working. And that money came in through different avenues and different pathways. It was people booking sessions. It was payment plans from people. It was people buying digital products. It was affiliate income. I've got so many different income streams. So there was money coming into the account every single day that I was quickly spending the next day. on, of course, work-related things. And yeah, I think that's the way to go. Really make sure that before you go, you haven't only planned your trip, but plan that there are strategies in place from a business perspective to allow money to continue to flow in, even in your absence. That's number one. Number two, make sure that you've got some kind of process in place to support you, to support your clients. If you're like me and you're selling online courses or programs and things like that, you know, make sure that you've got things in place there as well. That'd be the two key pieces of guidance, and then you'll really, really, really be able to get the most benefit from your break and do things like, or experience things like what happened to me. So I had all these ideas, all these insights, all these downloads, and I just wanted to tell people all about it. And I felt like rushed, but in a good way. Like it was this really big rush of energy. I was so excited and I was writing everything down. But the other thing that I remembered to do was to really make sure that I don't go and quickly implement everything straight away. Just to make sure that instead of implementing everything straight away, it was just like writing things down and then putting a pin in it and saying, look at it, look at these things when you get back and see if you've still got the feeling. Because what I can do sometimes is I can get super excited about things and I'll go off and I'll quickly register a business name and I'll register a domain name. You know, like I've probably got, like, hands up if you've got more than 5 domain names. Keep your hand up if you've got more than 10 domain names, like, or maybe 20, or maybe 30, or maybe 50. You get the idea. But yeah, this is what it's like for me. So it might be like that for you too. So I was like, no, don't do any of that. Don't do any of that. So it was good. I was able to not do any of that. And yeah, so that was fun. And now I've been able to come back and actually make some changes. So this is the next thing. When you go away and you create space, mental space, energetic space, physical space for yourself, the clarity is there. The ideas come through. You're going to write them all down. And then when you come home and you're back at the office, I want you to block off an hour, just an hour for the first day that you're back, or maybe the second day that you're back, and look at everything that you've written down and see how you're feeling about it, and maybe rank things in order of importance. You can cross things off the list, of course, but maybe rank things in order of importance and then implement them. So for me, what that looked like was I realized that I needed to change my pricing structures for a lot of the things that I offer to US dollars, because now things are tipping in that my audience is now more an international audience than it is an Australian audience. So I have gone now and put US dollars as my currency for my products. So that's done. I haven't done it for my services yet. That will happen over time, probably as some things finish, because I've got things that happen in cycles and stuff like that. Like, for example, with a marketing program, that happens every 6 months or every 12 months, whatever it is. So that won't get into US dollars until it's the next iteration, for example. But digital downloads, templates, e-guides, if I've got any of those, things like that, they're all now in US dollars. And I also went and had to change all the sales pages to clearly state that things were in US dollars. And I included a little line in each sales page that says, but if you're needing this in Australian dollars, let me know and I'll send you the link. So I still cover my Australian clients. So that all felt really, really good. And that felt in total alignment. The other thing that I did was, or that, came through, my other piece of inspiration that came through, was to delete a whole bunch of products. So I went through and deleted a whole lot of products, and that felt good, because then I was bringing things back to, I guess, the core of my business, the core values of my business, and what I want the business to be known for. And then the other thing that I did was I've got 2 programs that I open up either 6 months or 12 months, but one is the private practice certification program. The other one is the More Clients Marketing program. And then I'm introducing a third program, which is about money in business for women. And I'm really excited to, well, it's not only women, it's just, it turns out like 95% of my clients are women. Actually, 99% of my clients are women. So, everybody's welcome, but this is just what my marketing looks like at the moment. Again, full transparency. So that's on money. So then I was looking at, okay, maybe Q1, it's going to be private practice certification program. Maybe Q2, it's going to be the More Clients program, and maybe Q3, it will be the money program. And then Q4, I won't maybe do anything. Or at a pinch, maybe I could open up the doors to the Diploma Counsellor Society. So that gives me one thing a quarter. And that feels really, really good because they're all related. And they're all connected apart from DCS, which kind of sort of stands on its own. DCS can be related to the money program, the More Clients, and Private Practice 101, but those other programs don't necessarily need to be connected to the DCS, if you know what I mean. So anyway, I don't know if I'll open DCS once a year or as a big program, or if I'll just keep it. I just keep it as a mini program. It's always just ever been a soft launch. With my big programs, I call them, like my signature programs, the certification and More Clients Marketing, they're my big programs, my signature programs, as I just said. I usually do like quite a big launch. It's big in that it usually goes for about a week. It usually involves 3 live workshops. It involves 12 to 15 resources that I give to everybody that participates, including templates and workbooks and things like that. So it's huge, and it does take up a lot of my energy. I mean, it's energizing, but it takes me a week to recover as well. It's a lot of work, enjoyable work, but a lot of work, and it does take up time, space, energy, all of that. So with the Diploma Counsellor Society, I've only ever done what I would call lazy launches or soft launches, in that I've just generally put a post or 2 up in my Facebook groups and sent an email or 2 out, you know what I mean? But I really do love the DCS. If you're not in it, you're missing out. Like, it is amazing. Actually, one of the things that is really the DCS is known for is its supervision. We have group peer supervision happening every we do it once a month, and it is just so good. And straight after it's happened, like, people are raving about it in our community, and they just love it so much. And in fact, it's prompted me to have like another service that's more supervision based. So yeah, I've started, well, just this morning actually, I registered the name The Supervision Co., the Supervision Company, Supervision Co., and I'm going to start, this is the plan, I'm going to start another little arm of the business that's just for group supervision. And I was thinking what I might do is get some supervisors to deliver the peer supervision for me, or get a facilitator to deliver it for me, and they can be like a subcontractor. If that's something that you're interested in doing, by the way, could you let me know? Just send me an email. The email address is support@brooklynstorme.com, because I'd rather give an opportunity to somebody who's a loyal listener and a loyal follower than put an ad on Seek or, something like that, or up in our groups. I'd rather give the opportunity to somebody who gets it and who knows my style and things like that. So if that's something that you'd like to do, let me know, and I will send you a link to a little application form. It's not like a scary application form. It's more just to know what your areas of interest are, what you specialize in, stuff like that, so that I can, with my marketing, then try and get clients that are going to be a fit for that, etc., or at least offer that right? So for example, if you really love working with trauma, let me know, and then I can say in my marketing that one of the facilitators really loves working with trauma, and so that way we can kind of get people enrolling in your session that loves trauma. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, so that's an option, and this supervision is going to be available to all allied health, so not just counsellors. It's going to be open to play therapists, occupational therapists if they want to come, speech therapists if they want to come, psychologists if they want to come. Like, the more the merrier. Okay, and then also in that I will have a specialist supervision service, which is for all things APRA. Yep, she laughed. Because it's just so needed. Now, if you're a counsellor, you don't have anything to do with APRA just yet, though that's a whole other story that we can go into another time, because that's where this is headed. But for now, this really does apply to the psychologists. Especially, APRA is a governing body for psychologists outside of their peak bodies. So it's kind of like, in counselling you have ACA and PACFA and all these other bodies. Well, imagine if you had like a bigger one that was a government one that was overseeing everything, right? That's what it is. APRA is the Australian Health Practitioners Regulation Authority. And that's where people go when, that's where clients go when they've worked with, say, any medical professional or allied health professional that's registered under APRA, to make a complaint, for example. And the whole process of having a complaint can be very, very traumatic, as you might be able to imagine, or perhaps you may have experienced, and there's just no support and people don't know what to do when a complaint is made and all of that sort of stuff. So this is something I really love to help with. I've been supporting psychologists with their APRA complaints for nearly 6 years now. It is such a big area of passion of mine, but I've never really publicized it or put any formal structure around it. So now that we've got the Supervision Co, I'm going to be doing that. Okay. And that will be a service that I will market and get in front of, all allied health, so that they know what to do if there's a Medicare audit or if their CPD is audited and all this kind of stuff. So yes, I know, it's like all these ideas just come and then you have to think, okay, what am I going to do? So yeah, these are some ideas. So it was changing the fees. It was decluttering my business offerings. It was bringing everything back to signature programs that aligned with the core values of the business. It was introducing a new stream to help people, which is through the Supervision Co, and through the money program. So I'm really, do you know what I mean? Like, you create space with your decluttering to allow new things to come through. And then what else did I do? I'm just having another look. I think those were the main things. And now what I'm doing is I am decluttering other things. So I've got cloud storage, as I think most of us do now. I've got Dropbox, and as you know, last year I moved everything over to Google Workspace. And I want to get everything out of Dropbox and over to Google Workspace. So I'm going to get somebody on Fiverr to just do that for me. I don't want to do that. Somebody else can do it. The other thing is I've been doing a video every single day on my Facebook business page. I'm doing them for 90 days. So again, I'm just outsourcing to Fiverr. They can download those videos. They can put them on my YouTube channel. They can optimize a description for me. Just get it done. Like, I am now at a point of saying, I'm not going to waste my time anymore learning how to do things. I want to just outsource things, right? I've got no interest in, like, I know how to download my video off Facebook and put it onto YouTube. But to be honest, it takes about 10 minutes to do one. Now, if I've got 90 on there, and then I've got like a whole bunch of others on there that just haven't been transferred over to YouTube yet. How many hours is that going to take me? It's just like painful. I would rather spend that time doing Oracle card readings or working on the money program or putting the Supervision Co offerings together. Do you know what I mean? Like, I want to get that all going, and that's where my passion is, not in doing videos. So I'm outsourcing things to Fiverr and Airtasker at the moment. And now, because that's been going so well, I'm now also thinking, well, what else can I outsource? And it's been great because it's not giving me back my time, but it's like I'm still working in the business the same amount of hours, but I'm now able to spend more time working in the business on things that bring me joy. Make sense? So anyway, this would not have been possible had I not put boundaries in place, had I not had a business model in place that could sustain me while I was going on leave. So this is the big takeaway. I think find something that fills your cup that's going to get you away from the business and put it in the diary. It gives you something to look forward to. It's that light at the end of the tunnel. It really just helps me so much to be able to look at my calendar and go, oh, only 6 more weeks. Oh, only 3 more weeks. Oh, just 7 days, that really helps me. But also having everything that I need in place in the business so that money is still coming in while I'm gone. I know I can still pay the business overheads. I can still have the lifestyle that I want. I can still do all of the things that I need and have overflow, right? This isn't about being greedy with money. This isn't about making $1 million. This is about how do I get the business to work for me? Whereas I spent so many years giving to my business, feeling like it was taking from me all the time. And it took me a very long time to shift my mindset around that and think, no, I've got this flipped around the wrong way. The business needs to be giving to me. I need to be taking from it. It's got to be a better relationship, right? Just like if you had a human relationship, you don't want to be doing all the giving all the time because that's what leads to burnout, right? There's got to be some time where you get back, where that other person is giving stuff to you and you're receiving, okay? So look for balance in your business. Try and see where things might be out of balance, out of kilter. Maybe as the business has been growing and evolving, is it still in alignment with your values and why you started it? Do you need to do a declutter of your prices? Do you need to do a declutter of your offerings? All the things that are available for people to buy, they're all called offerings. In fact, even some of your freebies are still called offerings, but you need to do a declutter of those. And yeah, if you need any support or help with any of this, of course, don't hesitate to reach out and let me know. It's what I'm here for. This is my big passion, right? And this was the other thing too, speaking of big passions. Like, as you know, I'm a private practice specialist. If you need specialist help with your private practice, you come here. Yeah. And you do, which is amazing. You're doing the right thing. And I will always drop everything and help you. You know that. I'm a quick responder. I'm always going to give you the things that you need. And if I can't, I'm certainly going to facilitate connecting you with somebody who can. This morning when I went to take my car for the Roadworthy, it was arranged by my mechanic. And I said to my mechanic yesterday, where am I going? Where am I taking the car? And he said, are you taking it to the Roadworthy Guy? And I said, yeah. And then I said, but what's the name of the business? And he goes, the Roadworthy Guy. And I said, what? And he's like, yes, that's the name of the business, the Roadworthy Guy. And I said, oh, okay, you're just going to have to give me his number and address. So he wrote it down. But then this morning I went to put it into my Google Maps, and sure enough, it's called the Roadworthy Guy. And then I get down there and he's got this big logo and it says the Roadworthy Guy. And I just had a moment where I was like, this is so cool. Like, he's totally niched his business. Think about it. You could take your car to a mechanic and say, can you do Roadworthy? And the mechanic's going to go, yeah, of course I can. Or you could take it to the Roadworthy Guy. Now, mine's gone obviously to the Roadworthy Guy. What I like about it is the name in itself tells me exactly what he does. All day, every day, 6 days a week, he's doing roadworthies. So he's a specialist in roadworthies versus I could take it to my usual mechanic and he could probably do it, but is he going to do such a great job? I don't know. He's not a specialist in it. My mechanic does everything. He will change tyres, he will do a service, he will do a minor, a major, all those kinds. He can fix stuff. Fine, that's great. He's a jack of all trades. But when it comes to getting a roadworthy, so at the moment, I'm changing business names and everything, blah, blah, blah. I know, yeah. Anyway, I think I mentioned it to you before. Like, I'm shifting out of the PTY Ltd, going back to sole trader. Long story. But anyway, to do that, I need to swap the car out of the business name into my name. And part of that process is getting the roadworthy done. So my mechanic was like, do you know what? This is an important thing and I'm not a specialist in it. I'd rather you saw a specialist. So go see the roadworthy guy. And this is so is poignant the word. I think it's important because straight away I know the roadworthy guy, it's all he does all day, every day. He's a specialist in roadworthies. If he's not going to be able to help me with it, who can? Like, he is the best person to do this roadworthy. And it reminded me of, and then people were coming, right? Because I was the first one to arrive. I got there at about 8 a.m. And then after me, other people started to arrive with their cars, and somebody said to him, "Oh, can you also do a service? I need a minor service." And he goes, "No, I only do roadworthies." And I thought, this is brilliant, because this is what I teach my students all the time. You've got to be known for something. This guy is getting referrals left, right, and center because everybody knows exactly what he does. His business is referable. If you need a roadworthy, go see the roadworthy guy. And then when you go there and you ask him, can you do all these other things? He's very clear about it. No, I'm all about the roadworthy. I'm not going to do your minor service or your major service. You should go and see your mechanic for that or see somebody else for that. So anyway, I know getting a roadworthy done is very different to allied health, obviously. But the point is the same. When it comes to your health and well-being, are you going to go and see somebody who is, saying that they do everything? You look at their Psychology Today profile and they've ticked all of the boxes for the conditions or the problems that they help with, and they've ticked all of the boxes for the therapeutic interventions that they use. Or are you going to go and see somebody who says, like in Mornington, there's a place called positivepsychology.com. So if you really like positive psychology, you're going to go to Positive Psychology in Mornington because that's all they do. Positive psychology, that's what they specialize in, which I happen to love, by the way. So positive psychology is so cool. But anyway, so if you're somebody who's really into that and you like that, then you're not going to go and see the counsellor or the psychologist or the social worker that's trying to be everything to everyone. You're going to go to the person who does that. The other thing that I really like is I really like transpersonal counselling and transpersonal work because I love the spirituality. I love Jungian stuff. I love soul psychology. I love depth analysis, all those kinds of things. So if there's a practice and that practice is called the Jungian practice or the Jungian therapy clinic, then straight away I know I'm going to go and book in for that because they're specializing in something. When you have a niche, you become a specialist, and that's what allows you to then charge higher fees, work with a different client base, help more people, get more referrals. I was going to say be referred to more easily, but get more referrals because you're more referable because we know what you do and what you stand for and who you help and how you help them. So have a think, like some ideas. You might want to call yourself the Trauma Clinic. You might want to call yourself the Australian Trauma Clinic. You might want to call yourself Grief and Loss Australia. You might want to call yourself the Grief and Loss Clinic. Something like that. Now is the time. If that domain name is available, if that business name is available, grab it. Grab it because it's SEO. So straight away when somebody goes to type in grief and loss, if you've called your practice, and I don't know if there is a practice called the Grief and Loss Clinic of Australia or anything, but I'm just like free balling here. Is that what you call it? I'm freestyling here, winging it here. But your business is going to come up on the first page, and you're not going to have paid for a Google ad. And you're not even going to have needed to sweep your website for SEO. So think about what you want to be known for and what you want to work with, or maybe how you want to work. You can call your practice after, like for example in Mornington, the clinic there, I think they've got counsellors, social workers, psychologists, but their business name is Positive Psychology. Their business name is actually the name of a therapy. If they've done it, why can't you? Could you call yourself EMDR Australia? Could you call yourself the online EMDR clinic? Think about it. Or if there's, anyway, you get the idea. I'm going on and on and on. But I just wanted to give you some inspiration there, because I want you to be successful in your practice, and I want you to be found, and I want you to be really, really referable, and I want you to step away from the fear of niching. When you niche, you get to choose, because you will get people like what happened at the Roadworthy Guy this morning, with that other customer that came in that said, can you also do a minor service on the car, or whatever service he wanted. The Roadworthy Guy could have said, sure, I can do that for you. He chose not to. He said, no, I just do Roadworthy. But you get the choice, okay? You get the choice. So you're never really limiting yourself. What you're doing is you're making it easier for your business to be found by the people that are looking for your service. Anyway, just something to think about, okay? Anywho, I will let you go because I could talk the leg off a chair sometimes. I know that. Plus, I can hear the little beep, beep, beep on my washing machine. So I've got to go and get the washing out before it goes all stinky. And I want to go and get it on the line. Because the other thing is all my oranges and lemons are starting to come into blossom. And it's starting to smell really yummy in my backyard now. It's starting to smell really yummy. And I want to get the washing on the line so that I can get some of the scent from those blossoms through my sheets. I know it's a little bit of indulgence, but I love it because it's like nature. The sun from nature is like giving my sheets a little bit of an extra bleach and a little bit of an extra, I think sunlight is a disinfectant as well, isn't it? It does bleaching and disinfecting, but also like just letting the nature of the blossom smells come through. It's going to be so yummy. Anyway, I will let you go. But yeah, as I said, if you're interested in working with me and maybe facilitating some supervision, some peer supervision sessions for people or some group supervision sessions for people, do let me know. As I said, just send me a little email to support@brooklynstorme.com. I would love to hear from you. And of course, I would love to give you a chance before I open it up to the general public. I will also let people in my paid communities know, because I'd like to give them an opportunity first as well before I put it out to the general public. So if you're in my paid communities, you'll probably see like a little expression of interest go up in the groups later today. Feel free to respond. Have a beautiful, 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 beautiful day. Thank you so much for being part of my world. And yeah, have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Bye for now. I really hope that you got so much enjoyment, value, and insights out of this episode today. And if you did, please feel free to go ahead and leave a review. When you leave a review, it means that more therapists can access this help and support and tools to support them in their private practice and in their journeys. Thank you so much for listening to the show. Have a gorgeous day.